I've been online selling music since '99, bro. So
Yeah,
this is,
yeah, yes,
yeah.
sir.
So being in the game like this is right up my alley.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going live right now,
Okay,
bro.
yes, sir.
Here we go. Here we go. 1 second. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning into a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than student minister Shaheed Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, soldier.
This is an extreme honor to hear your life journey and see what got you to where you are today, which is inspiring people all over the country. So we look forward to hearing that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm very honored to be on the podcast. You've interviewed a lot of heavy hitters, and it really humbles me that you actually wanted to interview me. I'm just out here trying
All
to do the
praise be to
work
him.
and fulfill the promise that I gave to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that is to help him in any way that I can.
Yes, sir. Wonderful. Yes, sir. Okay, well, the first question we want to know is, sir, when did you first hear the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
I guess you can say Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teacher, Brand Nubians. Um, just listening to it, just getting in tune. I really didn't know about it as far as like nation wide. Majority of my friends when I was growing up, when I look back in hindsight, they were Muslims. But at the time when you just running, you really ain't into it like that. Middle school, I was part of a 5% group, but it really didn't focus on the teachings. But when I really got ingrained, um, was around 2001, July 4th, 2001 is when I came to
Hmm.
Dallas. And I was on a journey. I think I was looking at getting into Masonic lodges and stuff like that. But my wife at the time, she had got me into reading books. So I started reading, brother. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
started
sir. Yes, sir.
feeding on it. And I went into a bookstore in Grand Prairie, Texas at the time. And I went to go get from niggas to gods. That's the book I was going to get. But there was a man looking at me on another book, and I just couldn't get that stare, and it was Message to the Black Man. And so I picked up, yes sir, praise be to Allah. That,
Yes,
that
sir.
book, that is the book that changed my life forever. So I picked up Message to the Black Man, and at this time, I was a hip hop artist. I was working Mercedes Benz. I just graduated from college. Me and the wife just moved down to Texas, and from the first page, who was that mystery God? It started answering all the questions that I always had. I used to be a little boy, look in the mirror and be like, "Who am I? Why am I here?" Just when you alone, these questions that you ask, just only you and God know.
Yes, sir.
Um, and so as I started reading Message to the Black Man, it just started just making a whole lot of sense to me. I never was really into religion, even though my family had a lot of women pastors in it. I just really wasn't into it because I just saw it as a big pimp show, that it was a hustle. And so I looked at it like that, and but when I read Message to the Black Man, it just cleared everything up, all the misconceptions. The first thing is like, who is God? That'll just shut it all down, because how can I
Mm,
worship something that I don't know? You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And
mm,
so I
mm.
don't want to just be a blind follower and just say, oh yeah, my parents did this or did that, or my grandma did this, so I'm just doing it the same way. My mind just saying it just wasn't made that way, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of that, how did your parents and family feel once you accepted the teachings?
My mom, no, me and my mom kind of grew up together. My mom had me when she was 14. So
Mm,
it was easy to talk to my mom about anything, sex, girls, whatever. So when when I told her that I was, I made that decision. First, when I bought the books, I went and bought every book of the Messenger. And so I was just reading around the clock. And so, she would always call and talk to me and make sure that I'm praying, or, uh, find a church, or, you know what I'm saying these little things to me. And I told her, well, I'm thinking about joining the nation. And then I told her about it. I told her about, just what it was about and how it was helping me out. And she was all for it. She was just like, I don't care where you get the knowledge from. She said it could be, because she told me, she said it could be a donkey teaching from the rostrum or whatever.
mm,
As long as
mm.
it's helping you be right, I'm all for it. So she pushed me in that direction from day one. And she's been to the mosque. She believes in the teachings now, and
So
she's seen what it's done to her baby boy. So yes, sir.
excellent. Yes, sir. Now speak now. Earlier I was speaking about you. A lot of the people, members of a lot of my mentors are part of the Divine Nine. Many of
Yes,
them
sir.
alphas, omegas. A lot of people I went to college with are kappas. What made you choose Kappa above all of the other fraternities?
I had a neighbor. Uh, his name was Floyd Hawkins. May Allah be pleased with him. He was a strong mentor in my neighborhood at the time. I didn't realize that he was a Kappa until I got to college.
Mm.
Um, and then when I got to college, it was just I played basketball when I was in college. So and I
Okay. Okay.
and then from him mentoring me and then telling me what it was all about, achievement and things of that nature, and just being around a lot of them, it was just a natural progression. So I joined Kappa Alpha Psi in spring '97, and I've been in ever since, brother.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Now you said you hooped. What
Hmm.
what position did you play?
Point guard. I was point guard.
Okay, yes, sir. That
Yes,
was the only
sir. Yes,
position that,
yes, sir.
yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
I can identify with. What who are some of your favorite point guards now?
Right now,
Yes,
oh
sir.
man, it's so many. When you first say it, and I think of one, I think of Magic Johnson because that's like the
Okay, yes,
old,
sir. Yes, sir.
Penny Hardaway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right now, Kyrie Irving is probably one of my favorites. I like
Yes,
his
sir. Yes, sir.
um, the balls,
Yeah,
them
yeah,
brothers.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
Lamar
sir.
Ball and all them. I like a point guard who can score, but also get the whole team involved. So if you got game like that, that's what I really like about Kyrie because he got game, man. He can dribble
Yes.
and he can shoot. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
but he knows how to get everybody involved, and that's the job of a point guard. Is to get everybody involved, utilize your assets on your team so you can win the championship.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. And what was it like when you first came in the ranks in Dallas? Who was like the laborers who trained you? What was that like?
At the time, the minister was brother Jeffrey Muhammad. The captain was brother Tyrone
Mm.
D. So when I came in, it was rolling, man. I remember the first time I took my stack to the block, and brother Fred taught me how to go car to car. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't really afraid because from the environment that I grew up in Kansas City. I mean, when you hustling and you know how to make money. And me and my mom used to go to flea markets a lot and buy clothes and resell them and build boutiques and stuff like that. So my mom was
Okay.
already focused business wise. So I was when I came in, I already had a thorough knowledge of what I wanted to do. So it was just learning how it operated. You know what I'm saying? And brother Tyrone showed me the ropes, man, and taught me everything. And it helped that he was part of the Divine Nine because he's an Omega. You
Yes, sir.
see,
Yes, sir.
so it was
Yes, sir.
already something in common there, and so we would talk about those things about the commonality between the two because it's all about manhood. And so
Yes, sir.
he was a big impression on making me stick. The rest of it is just on me and learning different personalities because I went to a HBCU, I went to Langston University, but in
Okay.
Kansas City it's a mosaic, but it's a split between it's just all black and all white. You don't really get in between. So just learning black people in general it helped me when I came to the nation. And Brother Tyrone was a big push in that, as well as the minister. But I was more closer to Brother Tyrone at the time.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And he's somebody who impacted my life as well. And I had the honor of interviewing him. So yes, sir. He's definitely shown nothing but love. My
Yes, sir.
sisters, Miriam and Naima, both sending greetings. Like salam, y'all. My next
Salam.
question is, what was it like your first experience in the ministry?
Oh yeah. Well, this wasn't something that I was looking for. To be honest with you, I wasn't even trying to. I was coming back. It was a unique time. That was some things was going on in Dallas. The former minister had been sat down. Um, it was, and it just a lot of activity wasn't going on. By this time, I had kind of fell out the mosque.
Mm.
Um, I had fell out the mosque for about 2 or 3 years, and I really started focusing my energy in education. So I was a principal. I became a principal in education,
Okay,
and
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
praise be to Allah. And so I was learning how to use the teachings to impact people in that way, and learning how to bring it across in a way that they can kind of relate, and education wise. But so the brother who was there, brother Tyrone H. He was the minister there for about 2 years, and then I made a decision to go back. A brother I seen another brother. His name was Brother Alfred in the parking lot, and he was just telling me about the condition, man. And it almost made me break down and cry, brother. You know what I'm saying? And so I went back, and my whole thing was just to help. Um, and so as I went in, we started pushing, and he started putting me in different places. You know, I was showing deference to the fullest. You know, and so he had put me in a processing class, and I started then. Next thing you know, he started asking me to teach. And by this time, teaching had already been kind of comfortable for me because I had been teacher of the year in Arlington, and I've been doing some things in teaching. So being in front of people, teaching was quite familiar to me. So, but the first time I stepped on that rostrum, and the minister gave me to go ahead to do it, I was nervous. I was real nervous. You know, my heart was beating fast. I didn't want to mess up the prayer. I didn't want to, it's just a lot of things going through your head. And then at the same time, I'm still wondering, why am I even in this position and helping this out at this time? So it was a real humbling experience for me. And it still is today. I still get nervous every time I get up. If I get a chance, the butterflies don't go away, but I just work through them. But I just make sure that my stuff is laid out. So um, having to deal with, the different things that go on in the mosque now. And, and I'm trying to bring a different dynamic to it, to where it's all inclusive and it's all not just on me. It's where everybody is involved in it, and it's a team effort, but because I've been in team sports my whole life, I don't know how to just run stuff by myself. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? I can take the responsibility if something happens, but I can't take all of the credit because I know it ain't just me. So I look for the best in everybody. I'm looking for talent everywhere. I'm everywhere, whatever they do. I want to make sure, especially now, I want to make sure that we got the best minds in the right place at the right time so we can continue and truly build a nation here in Dallas, build a little small microcosm, business wise, economic wise, religious wise, having friends in all walks of life, in every facet, everything that the God promised us, and live in peace and just, show our way of devotion.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent and beautiful, sir. May Allah continue to bless you, your family, and the believers that are holding it down in Dallas.
That's
I
all.
saw on your Instagram, sir, where you were speaking in the prison at one time.
Yes,
What was
sir.
that like speaking in prison?
Oh man, we went down to Arkansas, brother, and I want to say it was probably about 200 brothers that showed up. Um, it was something that I never forget, man. It was so much love that they showed me when we went in there. Of course, I couldn't take anything, no notes, nothing. It was just they wouldn't let me take in anything, and they still hadn't even sent me a copy of the tape. But it was brothers of all ethnic backgrounds, man. And I started teaching on who is God. That's why I really focused on who is God and our responsibility, and and uh, and and to use their time wisely so when they leave to never come back. So I focused in those areas, but they gave me a chance to walk through the prison. And so I was going in sales and meeting brothers and hugging brothers. I mean, that was humbling. And just to see the fruit in there studying and they still in contact with us, that was an experience that I never forget, because I don't think I've ever felt that much love in one place at one time, because it felt so genuine, whether they were white, black, Mexican, some of them just getting out just to get out. But then after we started going and we started speaking, man, and they started bearing witness, and it was beautiful, brother. It was beautiful. And then we went down into the crowd and I answered questions. I was, explaining to them how the elderly in here, how to look out for the young men that's coming in here and making mistakes. And none of this is our fault. A lot of the things that I learned from the minister, I was just sharing it with them. That's all I know is what the minister done taught us. I can't give you anything else than what the minister done taught us, because that's who woke us all up. That's who woke me up. And that's who I'm committed to following, is him.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Now, speaking of being in Dallas in the South and prisons and coming from Kansas City, hustling, all this different type of thing, have you ever been faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome the fear?
Blocking it out. I think the very first time is when I first got shot at. You know what I'm saying? And hearing them and hearing bullets whizzing by your hair, you just running. It's like the fastest, you're running the fastest you've ever ran before in your life, But just overcoming that, man, growing up and just in that environment, because I grew up in an environment, like I said, my mom had me young. When we was in Kansas City, it was just us. She had moved up there from a little country in Texas, about 50 miles outside of Houston, called Livingston. So she had
Mm.
moved up there with her dad because she had got pregnant with me. So, and in the area where she was living in, it was helicopters, drugs, violence, just just everything you think about that's in the hood. So, from your first fight to overcoming fear to everything else, I never really been a fearful person, but just those experiences that brought about that fear, I overcame them mentally. Even from the first time I played basketball in front of a crowd, that's fearful. That's scary. You know what I mean? Because you're not playing with your friends anymore. You got everybody who wants to judge you and look at you. So I think a lot of that, helped me out as we went on. When I first went to Langston, I got into a gunfight with a brother on a basketball court. That was scary. I mean,
Mm.
this is my freshman year. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
I went there on a basketball scholarship and academics, and I'm on the playground playing ball, and this dude is mad, and you know how it go. And so
Yes, sir.
again, blocking it out and not really showing it. Heart beating fast. Now these things are normal. It's kind of just I don't want y'all to think that that you get I'm like He-Man or Superman or something, and there's no fear. No, you feel fear, but you just got to overcome it. It's a mental thing. It's like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said he was jogging and that bull came out, and he said
Yes,
he
sir. Yes,
felt
sir.
you feel the fear, but you want to transfer that energy. And I think I learned how to do that as as a young person, and that helped me out throughout life. Uh, even when Bear came and wanted to attack the mosque here in Dallas. I mean, that's big. I've never been in something like that. When the white boys tried to march on them.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
the name of the group is called Bear, and
Okay.
and then the community came out, and it went global. It went viral on
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
But I
sir.
mean, from the talk that we had in the mosque, the brotherhood, until we got out there, and we were all you can know, we all. I mean, that bonded us a lot. I can't even lie to you, man. That let you know, like Islam is real and the brotherhood is real, and no matter what we think about each other, in the final analysis, I got your back, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was a man talk going on before we went out there and secured the mosque that the cameras was showing, and then the brothers was coming out, and so that was fearful. You know what I'm saying? But we've overcome it. So it's
Oh,
just
wow.
like growing your chakras. You just got to keep going up a level and another level and another level. Um, but the thing is that we just stay focused, man, and we try to overcome all obstacles in our path.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Now, brother minister, we can't let you just gloss over, what I'm saying, the bear situation. What kind of journalist would I be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Could
ahead.
you explain to us what took place and what was the circumstances?
Well, there was a group of I guess anarchists or whatever. They said that they were going to shut down the mosque, and it's on a Saturday. The sisters are there, and they had already been out to urban, and they're coming out with guns and military and this and all that. They putting out videos talking about we got to get the ministers up in there. They're the ones preaching this hate and all
Mm.
of these groups. And so we got wind that they was coming. Of course, they called the police, and the police chief is calling. At that time, the minister was Tyrone H. Um,
Mm.
so we were going through a transition during that time, and so they calling, and the police officers and stuff is calling. So they didn't show up the first week, and we was like, oh man, they ain't gonna do nothing. And then next thing you know, they was out there the next week, but the community showed up in large numbers. The whole community. And you know anything? If you ever been to Dallas, you know about South Dallas. South Dallas is strapped. So
Yes, sir.
no
Yes,
doubt, no doubt. So from the work that we have been putting in. Now I came in the nation in 2004. So the mosque in Dallas have been putting in work from the 80s up to the 90s in these
yes,
communities.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm riding on their shoulders of
Yes,
this
sir.
love that's just been passed down, because we can go in that community anywhere you got a bow tie, that's your pass. You come in there with a straight tie, you're gonna get questioned a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Um, but as that situation went on, man, the whole community came out. They ran them off. I don't think they stayed there no longer than about 15 minutes, brother. And they was out.
Mm.
We didn't have
Mm.
to do anything. So we just positioned ourselves at the mosque. How we do our
Yes, sir.
military
Yes, sir.
strategic moves that we do. And the Panthers came out to help. It was just a lot of love. And they was, did nobody ain't nobody gonna let nobody walk on the mosque in South Dallas, man. So that's a blessing that we had That's praise be to Allah that we had those that came before us that understood the work and the mission that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had put us on. Because if they could have just came in and said, "Oh man, I'm just saying we ain't gonna sell no papers, we ain't gonna get out, we ain't gonna do this," but they actually did the work that built that love in the community, and that was a result of that. And so that was beautiful to see that. And even that, just like I said before, even the little locker room talk we had before we went out to the game, it bonded the brotherhood together. So that was a beautiful thing, man. And that's something that we'll always share together as brothers.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. I remember the incident, but I only remember through Facebook, and I just wish that I could have, been able to be deployed to support you. I wanted to go so bad. I was like, oh
Yes,
man,
sir.
they got action down in Dallas. Yes, sir.
Man. And I'm gonna tell you something, brother Josh, man. And so that's the atmosphere that I came into the ministry on. It's been turbulent since day one. So the way I operate ain't just like it's some Kool-Aid adventure. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in because I'm coming in with enemies attacking. When I first went out to support Dominique Alexander, when they was trying to send him to jail, and he's an activist here in the city. Helicopter gunships following us around, always got the scopes on it. So it's not like we're in a hostile environment at this time. So me as a young student minister, and I've been on this post for 4 years, my attitude is going to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because of the situation that I came into. And we're taught that your environment shapes your reality. You know what I'm saying? So that environment is bringing out something in me that Allah had put in me that I didn't know anything about. So I just thank Allah that He made me the way He made me. And we're gonna keep pushing here in Dallas, brother. Ain't nothing gonna stop us, man. They got a pocket to stop us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And how can we how can people, if people want to reach out to you, Naima, can you please share? Everybody, please like, share, subscribe, so I can make sure I put this on my personal page as well. My sister Naima saying yes, sir. Sister Aisha Muhammad saying beautiful. Juan Carlos says peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you as well, sir. How can we support you in your efforts in Dallas on the ministry side, and support you business wise through your music?
You can go to noidallas48.org. You can support through there. Prayers is always welcome. Keep us prayed up. As far as the business ventures, I just don't do music. I do have a STEM preschool that we've been running for a decade now. We have a germicidal disinfecting company where we go in and spray it down, especially during COVID. So that's been picking up. And then we also have starting something called the Armory, where we can do like a Nerf battle zone for students. So we're working, man, as far as the studio and stuff. So as far as the music, you can reach that on therealruku.com. That's RUKU, therealruku.com. We also, the STEM preschool is engineersoftomorrow.org. The germicidal company is germsquadllc.com. And that's how you can see what we got going on here in Dallas. You know, the whole mission, man, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had instructed me to do, is to, build jobs for the brotherhood. And so that's what I've been doing. Yes, sir.
This interview is one of the reasons I started the People's Podcast.
Yes,
so
sir.
that we can hear the great works of what everybody else is going and be inspired.
Yes, sir.
In every city that we are in, and once I put it on YouTube, we want to make sure that we share and keep helping you. Okay, now the STEM, you can't just gloss over that either, there, but this is a STEM. Okay, now what do you say? You got a STEM elementary school?
A preschool, a STEM preschool. So we get yes, sir. So we get the students first grade ready. If you go to the site, it's engineersoftomorrow.org. Again, engineersoftomorrow.org. We put everything on Facebook. We actually just started a what's called the Engineers Corner with a sister Aaliyah Muhammad who's new to the squad, and so we're doing like a reality show for the students so people can see what they do in there. So we focus on math and science. Of course, we focus on the engineering concepts: ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. Because the God told us that we need to have engineers in the next century. So you got to have problem solvers, because engineering is a way of thinking. So we're training the youngsters in a way of thinking. And we've been successful by Allah's grace so far that me and my wife, we had been doing this for about 10 years now, so praise be to Allah. Allah blessed me with a good one. She's an accountant. And so she's been keeping everything straight. And I couldn't do this without her, to be honest with you.
Excellent. And you know we got some questions about that because I know that next to every strong man is going to be a strong woman. So I definitely want to ask you a question about that.
Yes,
Before
sir.
we get going, but when we come back to that, I got a quick 60-second commercial break. To
Okay,
all
go
of the
ahead.
sponsors of the People's Podcast, I want to thank everyone who has been doing, and the donors. So if people who just want to make a donation, you saying I see the great work that you all are attempting to do, please cash app the People's Podcast so that we can keep this going. $sign the People's Podcast on Cash App. I want to start with my brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He works on
Mm.
television and film editing. Thank you very much. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. We love our tiny dancers. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Nations Auto Sales, LLC. Our brother out in St. Louis, businessman who ships cars and trucks all around the country. MTS Car Bros, any make, model, in any year out of Los Angeles, they'll be able to ship cars and trucks to you. Everybody's doing business, doing for self. Raising Black Millionaire, Sister Tia Muhammad. She teaches economic empowerment and development through young children through flashcards. Brother Kenneth Muhammad, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship the bow tie to you anywhere in the country. The Detroit Mecca Project, Brother Kamal Muhammad out of Detroit, Michigan. They are refurbishing and rebuilding homes and making the community a safer and decent place to live. Brother Chantel X, he hires truck drivers. They get paid weekly, and he also specializes in refrigeration. Thank you very much, Brother Chantel. Real Hip Hop Network. If you have, they have their own platform, and you can get paid based off the streams that you make. You can actually start to get paid on their network. So shout out to the Real Hip Hop Network, and let's make sure we support them. Client First Construction, Brother Jabbar Muhammad, painting, carpentry, flooring, plumbing, etc. in the Chicago area and the Memphis, Tennessee area. I'm coming right back to you, Brother Minister.
Are you
Mastery of
good?
the 7 Units is a pathway to do for self. Sister Landra El Muhammad. Stop talking to teachings and start living in teachings. That's her
Go
new book.
ahead.
Dr. Henry M. Carter, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. King Henry's Turkey Legs. Thank you very much. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning services out of
Yeah,
Chicago. My
yeah,
father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ,
yeah,
AbdulSharif.com.
yeah.
And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, which is
Mm.
on Amazon, and also No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you all very much for supporting the businesses and supporting the People's Podcast.
All
Okay, Brother
praise be to
Minister.
the Lord. Hey, I need to get in that, man. What I got to do to sponsor?
Yes, sir, man. We'll talk offline. Definitely.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
very much,
Yes, sir.
sir.
I definitely want to keep this going. I didn't know you was doing it like that. All praises
Yes,
be
sir.
to Allah.
Praise be
Yes,
to
sir.
Allah.
Praise
Yes,
be
sir.
to Allah.
My next question is, what has been your greatest trial in your tenure in the nation, and how have you overcome that trial?
Having a higher expectation for the members when you come in. I
Mm,
think
mm,
that's what let
mm,
me down the most. When you think, I think the minister says it best in the Green Book, which is the restricted law of Islam, where he said
yes,
that
sir.
we have to we hold those who are in front of the people to a higher standard as if the word is pure, but they're not. Well, in my
Mm,
immaturity, when I said I fell out the mosque, that was the reason I fell out. Um,
mm,
I just wasn't seeing what I was hearing, and
mm,
that's big. There wasn't that example all around me, and maybe I was being too critical at that time, but that's just what pushed me out. Um, and I think that has been the biggest trial. But since I bounced back, I've been on fire like never before. But I got a better understanding now. You know what I'm saying? That we're all in
mm,
the
mm.
process, because that wasn't being conveyed to me. That this is a process. Don't look at it like that. I just didn't have that type of mentorship that
Yes,
I
sir. Yes,
needed.
sir.
So I would say, any of those who are thinking about coming into any organization, nation, or whatever, stay close to the one who brought you in and use him as a mentor, so you can know the reality of this thing, because we all are coming up out the mud, and sometimes we may glitch, you know.
Yes,
But
sir.
I
Yes,
thought,
sir.
but I thought everybody was like the minister, brother. You know what I'm saying? I thought everybody was like Farrakhan, and that's just not true.
Excellent. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. What has been your greatest joy in your tenure in the nation?
life, life and life more
Mm,
abundantly. I mean, learning how to eat to live, learning how to study myself, learning not to point the finger at anybody but myself if nothing happens.
mm,
And just the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the love, the camaraderie. just the lifestyle, everything has been a plus. It's just like the messenger said, it's heaven at once. When I came in, all praise be to Allah. When I came in and I recited October 25th of 2004, it was at 10:45 p.m. My wife came in December, right after that, and we just been pushing ever since. Yes, sir. So that's been the greatest joy, is just coming into the nation and understanding that this is the only place you can go in an organization. They teaching about pulling your resources and doing for self. The other ones don't do that. They don't teach that. So this is the easiest place where you should be able to formulate a successful business from. And not only that, your business plan, and be calculated with what you do, because we have that wisdom. We say Allah is the best planner, but we know who Allah is. It's all of us. So it's, praise be to Allah. So it's just, finding those who want for their brother what they truly want for their brother, what they want for themselves, and being able to strategically put something together so we can build a heaven on earth while we live. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Beautiful, sir. And my next question for you is, speaking of your wife that came in after you, what advice would you give to future husbands?
Ask a lot of questions. Now, I met my ask a lot of questions. For me, I met my wife in college, so it was a different situation, and we just for lack of terms, we just thugged it out. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I would say ask a lot of questions. Don't be ashamed. Go meet each other's families. Learn what makes that person them. Talk to family members. Share your family with that person for potential husbands, and be open-minded. I think that, when you find someone that you can grow with, that's a blessing from Allah, because, you're bringing two different cultures together. For me, it was that way. As far as going through the courtship, even when going through the courtship in the nation, I mean, you really don't know anybody till you start courting them, and then because now you're in their private space. It's not just a bow tie in my headpiece. Now you're trying to get into their private space and see how they really are. So dig deep, man, and make good decisions. Don't overlook anything, and ask a lot of questions.
Excellent. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. My next question is, what advice would you give to future fathers?
Future fathers. It's a journey. It's a journey. Us in the nation, we know that, in order for us to prolong life, we're gonna have children, and train them up. And, in some areas, as they get older, you may have to find a mentor for them also, because sometimes we don't listen to our parents, but somebody else may say the same thing. But it's just wherever your child is at in their life, So don't be afraid of that, and don't look at that as a knock on your fatherhood or your parenting skills. It really enhances your parenting skills, because now you understand how the human works. You know what I mean? And that sometimes you need some of those outside forces that still think like you, but they can influence your child to be in the right direction. Be open. I know with my children, we're open. They're able to talk to me about. I want them to be able to talk to me about things. I don't want them to be like, oh, that's my daddy. I don't want to talk to him. And then they try to do all these experiences. But no, I'm trying to give you a shortcut to life. I know you may not listen to everything that I do. Say, for instance, like my daughter, for instance, there were some things that was going on. She's a teenager. And there's a counselor that I know that, she can talk to her and say the same thing, because she may not listen to me and her mom, even though we're saying the same thing. But this counselor she'll say it to her, and she won't, try to push drugs on her, nothing like that. Somebody that we really know, you know what I'm saying? So you always got to have somebody there that can help mentor your child. I had a mentor. We all have mentors. So I think it's just paying attention really to your own life, then you can really send that to your future life. If that sounds right. Yeah, transcend to your future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excellent. Okay, yes, sir. What do you do for fun, sir?
I play video games.
Outside of music. Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah. I play video games. Nowadays, as I do music for fun. Can't go anywhere anymore, so I'm stuck in the house. So right now I'm on video games and networking, and that's about it. I play chess. We play Uno.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stuff like that. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
Okay, well, I play chess, and I also play video games. Are you PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation. Shaheed 2015.
And what game? What's some of your favorite games to play?
Spider-Man. We just got. I like Madden. I'm a big Madden. I've been playing Madden forever.
Yeah, same here.
Of course, 2K.
Yeah, of
So
course, 2K for sure.
play a lot of 2K. My son's a soccer player, so I done got into soccer. So I'm on FIFA
Okay.
now.
Yes.
So I like the adventure games, but I really like the sports games. But he's got me into like the Fortnites and the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
shooter games and stuff like that. That's his thing. So that's that's what we do, man. But I'm still a gamer. Still a gamer at heart.
Praise,
I used to
praise
play
be to
video
Allah.
games with my students, though, Josh. You know what I'm saying? When I was
Okay.
a teacher and a principal,
Mm.
it would give me some time to mentor them. Because some of them may go into some crazy situations. So we'll hook up with Madden, and I'll be playing it with Madden, and I can talk to them at the same time. And don't
Yes,
worry
sir.
about it. Everything gonna be all right. I see you tomorrow at school. You got your homework done. Oh, look at touchdown. That's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yes, sir. So that's how it's been. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Now, I ask every person who comes on the show, give me their favorite album, but most of them aren't artists. So, as an artist, especially a hip hop artist, what would be your? Because I'm going to listen to you more because you're a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So, what's your favorite album of all time?
Of all time,
All time.
Machiavelli by Tupac.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Machiavelli. I've always been a Pac fan. I like Tupacalypse too. That's more of his consciousness
Yes, sir.
in there. With Brenda Had a Baby
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and a few other songs. But yeah, Machiavelli is probably my favorite one. That's the one where I heard the minister on too. You know
Of
what I'm
course,
saying?
White Man's
So,
World. Yes, sir. Of
yeah,
course, we know
yeah,
what it
so,
is. Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, so I'm a big Death Row fan so myself, so you already know Pac and
Yeah,
all that. So that whole era,
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna get into
yeah,
that.
yeah. I kind of cater to the West Coast too, brother. So I can go
Yes, sir.
CWO, AWOL, Rated R,
Yes, sir.
all of them, brother. Anything. I'm still listening to the new stuff today.
Excellent. Now, there was shout. First of all, I want to make shout out to the plug who got me in contact with you because now I feel so connected to you, which is brother Amir.
Yes, sir.
Who's one of my dear friends and a close brother of mine.
Yes,
on the podcast that he the martial arts workshop that we were on together, you
Yes,
spoke
sir.
about your work with Mo3.
Yes, sir.
And my younger brother, man, he was a huge fan of him and talked about. He's like, man, he's talking about the teaching. So I told him, I said, I'm interviewing a man who said he, put him on. You know what I'm saying? Went to him. Could you please explain, your relationship with him?
The relationship with Mo3 was quick in passing. He was in the studio. The studio he recorded at is at Brother Ray's studio. Brother Ray, of course, I'm calling Brother Ray. He FOI. They call him Drop. Yeah, they call him Drop in the street. So everybody who went to the studio was talking to him, and he's feeding them the teachings. Because we trying to transform lives. Of course, we got a studio in our mosque. Because they come in, they can record. We ain't stopping, brother. You know what I'm saying? So. Brother Ray had called me to the studio one time with him, a few times, and we went out there and we had a long, probably about a 4-hour talk about a lot of things that was going on in his life, what he was trying to change, and just it was a lot going on. At that time, he hadn't signed with anybody. Universal was trying to get him. He was going down to Little J and rap a lot and all of that. So I got caught in the picture because there was some beefs, of course, that was rising up. And so I'm trying to go in and settle the beast, but at the same time, I'm trying to get to know because he is talking about the teachings, and I know who's giving that to him, so he's connected and he's coming around, and he's fearless. So that relationship, we got him in processing class, but then he signed with Bootsy, and just with all of that comes with you, that's all in your face. That had a big pull on him, brother. But the conversation that we had, I won't repeat because it was a lot of things that he said, and he put everything in his music, especially after the Fort Worth incident and how he was being interrogated about the nation and all of these things. So just know our ears to the street, and we gonna get them. And brothers like Mo3 are the ones that I want in the nation. So I'm focused on that trap rap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get them soldiers, man, because they businessmen at heart. They just need to get some motivation, as Jeezy would say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And my sister Naima said Josh is a chess master. She thinks that everybody knows I'm a chess master, Naima. I'm a guy,
Now, I ain't going to say I'm the best chess player, you know what I'm saying? But I can play some chess.
Brother Juan Carlos said salute to Brother Amir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Just two more questions for you, Brother Minister.
Yes, sir.
Will you ever write a book on your life?
Say that again.
Will you ever write a book on your life?
Have I ever wrote a book, or am I will? It keeps going in and out. I can't. The part when you say on your life, I can't hear.
Yes, sir. Will you ever write a book about your life?
Oh, will I ever write a book about my life? I don't know. I never thought about it. Maybe if the opportunity presents itself, but I mean, I still got a long way to go. So
Yes,
I
sir.
mean,
Yes, sir.
I got a lot of life left. So
Yes, sir.
I don't want to stop right now and just say, okay, now it's time for me to write a. Oh no, I mean, shit. Maybe my son, maybe my daughter, maybe somebody else, like the autobiography of Shaheed or something. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I hadn't thought about it. But I think a lot of what I do, I put on these records. A lot of how I feel, I put on these records. So
Yes, sir.
I think my book that I'm writing is going to be audio. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Yes, sir. And then one last question, sir.
Yes,
What
sir.
would you like your legacy to be?
Of a brother who loved the brotherhood, a father, a provider, and just a all around good brother, man. That that I never really. I'm talking like I'm dead, right? But I never really, because when sometimes, man, when you kind of talented, man, that brings a lot of jealousy and envy. And I just do what I do, and I stay in my lane, and I don't try to step on nobody's toes, and I show deference where it needs to be showed at. But I'm going to take control of my post and our temple property and view it. That's just how I've been trained. So I'm not going to sit back and wait. So um, I just want to I want to be a brother that they say he listened to the minister, brother. That brother right there, I know he listened to the minister, because you can tell by the success rate. And the Quran says you can tell those who are successful because they followed the path. So inshallah, by the will of Allah, I continue to follow the minister, continue to grow, continue to ask questions. And then, we'll just see, what history brings. But right now, we still in the fight, Joshua. You know what I'm saying? It can't write nothing on me yet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Well, I'm honored to have been connected with you.
Yes,
I got to
sir.
make sure everybody support our brother, Shaheed, in life. I mean, in your business life, personal life. I'm inspired by you. I'm going into the education field. So
Yes,
to
sir.
hear you talk about STEM and all, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the kind of stuff I need to.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so I'm gonna be, and if you're gonna be my unofficial mentor or whatever. We gonna,
Yes, sir. I got you,
I need some
brother. I got
guidance.
you. Hey, I got
Thank
you,
you very
brother. The key to it all, though, is keep it project based. Keep it project based. That's how I came into it, because I'm just saying, when in Texas it's kind of, I don't know how it is in Atlanta, but if you give the children projects like real life projects, real life mathematics, say if you're gonna do something in math, I'm just gonna give you one of the projects that we did. I did a project where it was dealing with statistics. This is for seventh graders, but they looked at how many times the police stopped a black man, or what was the reason why. You can pull the data, and then from there they learn how to build grids. They'll learn how to build this. They'll learn how to build that. But it brings some type of social activism into their life. You know what I'm saying? And those same students will come back around, brother, and they'll see you at the mosque. And next thing you know, they'll be walking through there, and you'll be like, "What?" They be joining the ranks, brother, because I see it all the time. So just give it to them in a way that makes it interesting, and it keeps them engaged. And we'll talk more. We'll talk more offline, because there's some books and stuff that I can send to you. There's a lot of stuff that I love to share with you. So yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Well, thank you. It's been an honor to have you come on the People's Podcast. We're gonna put it on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.